out there that can help us. We had a couple closures. That's where your resource comes in. Closures of a home. We have to we don't, but I do assist the home trying to relocate them to where they wish to go. We want to make sure where they move to next is what their wishes are, not what the owner wants it to be. Anybody have any questions for me? I am back there in a purple tablecloth. One more thing, I am always looking for a volunteer. It's anywhere from an hour to 2 hours a month, if you're lucky. My staff and I meet on a monthly basis. We just talk about, what's going on in our facilities. If someone was sold, we talk about updates. If you have any questions there, like I said, they are volunteers back there. They've been with me anywhere from 3 years to 6 years back there. So, and I have one that's been doing it in 21 years, so she adopted me. So, thank you.
Yay.
You may go ahead and mingle, sorry.
All right, everybody, let's get started here. I'm going to begin the second half with introductions, just like we did the first time. We have different speakers for our afternoon panel. First, we have Deanne McCoy. Attorney Deanne McCoy is a partner of Yelovich, sorry if I mispronounced that, Flowers and McCoy. She has practiced family and civil law for the past 23 years. Her law practice is primarily family law, adoptions, children and youth cases as the attorney for the children, and she has been the attorney for the Area Agency on Aging for the past 7 years. Attorney McCoy also prepares wills, powers of attorney, and advanced living directives, and represents private parties in guardianship proceedings. Attorney McCoy is currently working on a program with the Pennsylvania Bar Association and the Area Agency on Aging of Somerset County to provide wills, power of attorney, and living wills to veterans. She is also working with the Pennsylvania Bar Association to bring law students to Somerset County to encourage them to practice law here in Somerset County. Attorney McCoy is the current president of the Somerset County Bar Association and has been the chair of the Law Day Committee for the past 10 years. She has also served on the Somerset County Bar Association Executive Committee for the past 12 years. Attorney McCoy was raised on a farm in Frieden, Somerset County. She attended Seton Hill College and Duquesne Law School. She has 2 children, age 18 and 16. She has been a member of the Somerset Kiwanis Club for the past 15 years and previously served as their president for 6 years. And she serves as a deacon at the Somerset Church of the Brethren. Please welcome me in joining Attorney Deanne McCoy. Next, we have Karen Shaw. Karen Shaw serves as the executive director of the Next Step Center, Somerset County's only emergency shelter. Karen has dedicated more than 16 years to serving individuals and families throughout Somerset County, assisting residents with housing, weatherization, utility assistance. They do not assist with that. I misspoke. After spending 13 years with a local agency and a brief period working in Cambria County, Karen returned home to Somerset County when the opportunity arose to join the Next Step Center 3 years ago. She initially served as shelter manager and administrative assistant before stepping into the role of interim director. And in December of 2025, she officially accepted the position of executive director. A lifelong resident of Somerset County, Karen is deeply committed to strengthening the community she has always called home. Under her leadership, the Next Step Center continues its mission of providing safe, temporary housing and supportive services to county residents facing housing instability. Conceived through a collaboration of local human service providers who recognize the need for interim housing, the Next Step Center's mission was developed between 1994 and 1999 through broad public participation. In 2000, the organization became a 501c3 nonprofit, and they purchased a 5-bedroom home here in Somerset Township, creating the county's only emergency shelter program. Today, the Next Step Center serves Somerset County's residents and individuals with ties to the county by offering emergency shelter stays of up to 30 days. During their stay, guests are connected with valuable resources and support systems, including job search assistance, volunteer-led transition classes, life skills support, and daily household responsibilities designed to encourage stability and independence. The shelter's mission extends well beyond providing temporary housing. It offers individuals and families a safe place to regroup, rebuild, and take meaningful steps towards long-term stability. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Karen Shaw. Next, we have Christy Arnold. Christy Arnold is the County Mental Health Program Manager at Bedford Somerset Developmental and Behavioral Health Services, DBHS. Christy has been with Bedford Somerset DBHS since 1986. During her tenure with DBHS, she has experience in several programs, which include the Social Rehabilitation Program, Resource Coordination Program, and Administrative Case Management Department before accepting the role of County Manager. She currently manages the county program in both Bedford and Somerset counties including crisis intervention, administrative case management, student assistance program, child and adolescent service systems program, and drop-in centers. She is committed to the expansion and enhancement of behavioral health services in Bedford and Somerset counties. Bedford Somerset Developmental and Behavioral Health Services has been dedicated to being the leader in the administration, coordination, and delivery of behavioral health and developmental services to individuals in Bedford and Somerset counties. Our mission is to ensure that services are high quality, cost effective, timely, and accessible to every person and family they serve, and for them to live a full and productive life in their communities. At DBHS, we provide supportive services to both adults and children experiencing behavioral health symptoms and intellectual disabilities, autism, and they provide consultation and education, monitor and link to appropriate providers, and serve as advocates to the individuals they serve. Please join me in welcoming our panelists. And last and not least, we have Sarah Tinsmith. She is an experienced behavioral health professional with more than 15 years of experience in substance use treatment coordination, case management, community engagement, and cross-system collaboration through Pennsylvania. She has dedicated her career to supporting individuals and families affected by substance use disorder, mental health challenges, trauma, and justice system involvement by connecting them to treatment recovery resources and essential community services. Currently serving as a community navigator with the Somerset County Public Defender's Office, Sarah works directly with justice-involved individuals to provide navigation services related to substance use treatment, mental health support, housing, employment, and community-based recovery resources. Her work emphasizes harm reduction, overdose prevention education, access to naloxone, and supporting successful reentry and long-term stabilization for vulnerable populations. She collaborates closely with public defenders, probation officers, treatment providers, and social service agencies to reduce barriers to recovery and decrease recidivism. In addition to her direct services and behavioral health experience, Sarah has demonstrated strong leadership within the nonprofit and business communities. She currently serves as board president of the Somerset County Chamber of Commerce and has been actively involved with numerous community organizations and initiatives, including the Somerset County Human Trafficking Task Force, Somerset County Drug-Free Communities, Somerset County Suicide Prevention Task Force, United Way of the Laurel Highlands, Women's Leadership Steering Committee, and the Somerset County Health and Welfare Association. Her leadership and community impact have been recognized through several honors, including the Daily American Hometown Hero Award, the Somerset County Chamber of Commerce Young Gun Award, and the Daily America's Most Successful Under 35 recognition. Sarah has earned a Master's of Science in Legal Study from California University of Pennsylvania and a Bachelor's of Science in Administration of Justice from Pennsylvania State University. Her professional expertise includes criminal justice collaboration, case management, substance use disorder systems, program implementation, grant support, and stakeholder engagement. She remains passionate about strengthening communities through advocacy, collaboration, recovery support, and evidence-based approaches that improve outcomes for individuals and families across Somerset County and beyond. Please join me in welcoming our panelists. All right, ladies, to kick this off for round one, we are going to begin with Deanne. So the question for you is, a lot of people hear the term power of attorney but may not fully understand it. What exactly does a POA or power of attorney allow someone to do?
I prefer to stand because when I'm in court, I have to stand and I have a height impediment, so people can see me better if I stand. A power of attorney is a formal legal document that gives someone else the ability to do something that the individual granting that authority can do. They could be very limited to very broad. A very limited power of attorney could be something like, I give someone the ability to sign documents at closing for my house because I'm unable to attend that day. Or it could be limited to only financial power of attorney, or it could be limited to only medical power of attorney. Or it could be very broad, and that is probably the most common that I prepare is a broad power of attorney. And when I explain it to an individual, the one that I'm referring to, the very broad one, I explain that you are giving someone the legal ability and authority to do anything that you can do if you execute this very broad type. So you want to be sure that you trust this individual, that this is someone that you really trust and know well. A power of attorney does not have the duty to act, but if they act in their capacity as a power of attorney, they must act in that person's best interest. So it's important to understand if you grant someone power of attorney, they don't have to act. So if you give your child power of attorney so that someday they can pay the bills and talk to the doctors, that doesn't mean that the following day they start paying all your bills and you can't pay your bills any longer. You can continue to act for as long as you're able. I personally have power of attorney over my parent, and I have found it invaluable. I've had to call doctors. I've had to advocate for my parent in the hospital, call numerous service providers, banks, utility providers. And if I did not have power of attorney, I don't think any one of them would have spoke to me because they don't have the authority to. It's an important document to have before you need it. If you're laying in the hospital bed, looking at going to a nursing home for a few months for rehab, that's not the time to start thinking about getting a power of attorney. So that's a brief overview of what a power of attorney is. There was one point that I had made at a prior presentation that I feel it important to make again because I was surprised by the number of people that were shocked by this information. But when a person dies, the power of attorney that they have granted to someone else dies with them. If you have power of attorney for your parent or your spouse or a close friend or relative, when that person dies, you no longer have the authority to act under that power of attorney. Because as I explained, you're doing something on behalf of that other person. If the other person is deceased, they can't act on their own behalf, and neither can you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is for Sarah. How do public defenders balance legal advocacy with recognizing when a client's mental health, isolation, or inability to care for themselves is driving the situation?
Thank you. First of all, I just want to point out that Somerset County is a very lucky county because they are one of very few counties in the state that have a social service position as mine. So if an individual that does have legal charges that is in the population of 60 and older, and they do have any kind of mental health needs, I can help navigate them through the system to make sure that they connect with those mental health providers in the county. So whether it's DBHS here or other providers in the county, at any level within the criminal justice system, that whether it's an arrest, whether it's a court hearing, whether they end up in jail, any of those settings, I can help connect them with the providers, with doctors, throughout that whole process to make sure that they are getting the care that they need in order to maintain the stability throughout their process through the legal system.
Great, thank you. Our next question is for Christy. Christy, from your perspective, what misconceptions about courting and self-neglect do you wish the public understood better?
I think one of the major misconceptions is people that court are lazy, they're dirty, they're unmotivated or have lack of willpower. But in reality, they have more complex issues related to emotional, physical, and social factors. They might be experiencing grief, trauma, depression, just overwhelming stress. And things that we think are normal, everyday activities are overwhelming for them, like making a phone call, taking out the trash. They just can't do it. And they, people think that just throwing things away is gonna make everything better, but those possessions have meaning to them. They have memories, they have, they just mean something to them that it's really hard for them to throw away. And it takes support from people around them, build their trust, and they have to give consent to do this. So it could be a slow process, there could be setbacks, but as you build the trust and with their permission, then it's a process that will take place. Now, if there's safety issues like falling in fire or medical concerns, then you can compassionately approach them, but again, you need to build the trust, get their consent, and it will happen.
Well said, thank you. And our next question is for Karen. Karen, are there differences in the needs and experiences of younger adults versus older adults experiencing homelessness and self-neglect?
There are. I think the one thing they all have in common though is fear. The fear that they don't know what's gonna happen next. With the young adults, the age range is 18 to 24, they have either graduated or been removed from foster care due to their age. They have had a trauma that they've endured. I wish I could tell you guys how many 18-year-olds we have called our shelter saying, Mom kicked me out. Dad doesn't want me anymore. I, as a parent, can't even imagine throwing one of my children out on the streets nowadays. So you have that fear that they don't know what's going to happen next. With the older seniors, some of them have never, ever experienced homelessness. They lose their homes due to not being able to pay taxes because they don't have enough income coming in. They think they plan enough for the future. We all do that. We all think we plan enough for the future. But in this day and age, with the way things are with the prices, it's very hard to keep your head above water. Physical, a lot of the elderly have the physical disabilities where the youth do not. But the youth also deal with mental disability as well as the seniors. They each handle it differently. Where a youth will turn to someone in the street before they will turn to a doctor for help. Their only friends they see are the ones living on the streets. The seniors have a lot of pride. You know, they're so set in their ways. And they've worked hard for everything they've ever had. But now they've lost their home. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to turn to. All these agencies here today, as I sat here and listened, we all work together. We do. Amanda Marker, she comes to our shelter and helps the ones that come in. So everyone here does something special for those that really need it. And I do believe that we all need to reach out to each other. And if that, say you wanted to call into the shelter because you're not getting satisfaction from someone else, we'll get the answers. They'll get the answers. We won't give you wrong answers. We may give you we'll call you back, but that's just how it works. We will call you back because our jobs are to help you, not to degrade you, not to make you feel bad. Our jobs are to keep you housed, keep you safe, and give you the resources you need to move forward.
Thank you, Karen. All right, the next couple questions are for all, so please feel free to share the microphone and chime in, whoever would like to start. Are there populations within the aging community that you see that are especially underserved or at risk?
I do. I see the ones that are struggling with mental health. The ones that don't want to get that stigma attached to them. And I think that's really hard. I think we've all dealt with depression, anxiety, changes can put us into a snowball effect of not knowing what to do next or how to handle it ourselves. Just because we sit on this side of this table doesn't mean we've had trauma ourselves, because we have.
Yes.
We have. And then we get more trauma when we try to help people, because it's like we can't give them the answers quick enough. So there's definitely the mental health end that really needs worked on. And I don't know where that all begins. I know DBHS is amazing to work with because we have gone to their trainings. They've taught us a lot. But I'm wondering, is there more that we can do for mental health? Sorry.
I think just being aware of if you see changes in people, to let somebody know. Check on them, make sure they're okay. Just be aware of your surrounding neighbors, your family, your friends.
So I don't know if this is a particular underserved portion of the community, but there's a couple of points that I wanted to make. One is, don't be so prideful that you don't ask for help, because if you don't ask for help, people don't know that there's a need, and you're depriving that other person of the ability to help. Most of the people that I come across we live in a small town. We describe people as, he would give you the shirt off his back. Well, if you know that person that would give you the shirt off his back, then why don't you call them if you need a ride to the grocery store? And I give that example because I think the people that have their license taken away or for safety realize that they shouldn't be driving. I think that portion of the community is underserved here. We have the Sam Van and we have Somerset County Transportation, and they're wonderful. But I want to make you guys aware that we also have Uber and Lyft. I know it sounds very, oh, that's for young people, I don't understand it, I'm not dealing with it. But there are people that go to, like, this is my church, there are people that go to this church that are retired individuals that do Uber and Lyft. So there is transportation available. It may cost you a couple of dollars, but I go back to the ask for help. If you have a friend that you know shouldn't be driving, call and offer, hey, I'm heading to Walmart, do you want to ride along? Maybe we'll go get coffee after. Little things like that, I think, make a tremendous difference in a person's everyday life. I see further down on this, there's a discussion about isolation, and I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but I think little actions like offering to take them to the grocery store, or I'm going to Johnstown to a doctor's appointment, do you want to ride along and we'll go to the mall afterward or something. I think that really goes a long way to help prevent isolation and give that interaction with other adults that you really benefit from. So, thank you.
Just one of the things that we kind of notice is individuals that might not have family support in the county. Whether or not, these individuals might have mental health needs, substance abuse needs, food, transportation, things like that. So if you know of somebody that's living alone and do not have family or friends, please, reach out and check on them, just to make sure they're okay, or, maybe tell them about some of the services that are offered within the community so that they can connect with them. and then that we can help provide them and connect them to the services that might help them.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. And you kind of answered some of this question already, but if there's anything further that any of you would like to add, what can everyday community members do to support and protect vulnerable older adults they may come across in their lives? I know that we've already said just checking in, being a good neighbor, that's a great place to start. Anything else you'd like to add?
Keep an eye on each other. I think that we've all identified, oh, I'm susceptible to fraud or being taken advantage of. So we don't answer the phone call that we don't recognize the number. But there's a lot of ways to become victim to a scheme or fraud. So I think when you had mentioned about the pride aspect, I've seen people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're too prideful to admit to their kids or to someone else that they've been giving money to someone. Have those conversations, keep an eye on your friends and neighbors, and just talk about, you know, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? Do you have something happening that you want to talk about? Give them the opportunity to talk with you about their needs, and just be a good neighbor. I think that will go a long way. Thank you.
I think too, it's important to let people know it's okay not to be okay. It is. One of my favorite songs is by Jelly Roll. And if you really listen to that song, it hits home for a lot of us. So it's okay not to be okay. But it's gonna be all right. You have people that surround you. You may not know it at the time, but there are people who care. There are. And like she said, keep your eye on people. You know, if you see something, say it. Doesn't have to be, it may be something minute that you see. Don't let it snowball into something much bigger. You know, and I'm gonna use victim services. It could be a bruise that you see. This is from my barn, it's not from my husband. But it's little things that you can see, a change in someone's personality, a change in being isolated, like you said. And it's subtle changes that can take place. True friends will notice those changes. It'll be hard for someone who's just a passing friend, but a true friend that you communicate with will see those differences. If it's a neighbor that you've lived by for years, you're gonna notice they're not doing what they normally do. There's a problem. And no, they may not agree with you, but maybe if they know you're listening or you're watching, maybe they'll come forward and say, yeah, I do have a problem.
I have a story related to what both of them had said. I have a coworker in Bedford who had an elderly neighbor. She was in her 90s, lived alone. And her family lived in the area, but further away. And they had a system. When Greta would wake up in the morning, she would look to make sure that the neighbor's light was on. If it wasn't on, she knew something was wrong. One morning, it wasn't on, and she had fallen down the stairs. So she was able to go over, check on her, call the ambulance, and got her to the hospital and got her some help. So, but yeah, just pay attention to your neighbors, your friends. Watch for withdrawal, stopping, their normal activities. If they have any new friends, they might be people who are trying to exploit them. Just be aware.
Just one thing I was gonna add is about the community is be involved with the community, whether it's through your church or any kind of community events. I noticed some of the vendors here had some newsletters and different things. Pick up those, educate yourself, see what's going on within your community and share that information with each other, just to educate each other. That's one of the things that we could do with each other to make sure that we're all safe, is to continue to educate each other. I know the 911 center always has a quarterly newsletter going out. They have a lot of good information in there. I know the Daily American, that they don't have the news, a paper one anymore, correct? They do? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, a few days a week, okay. But, yeah, just, just share what you learn. Just continue to educate yourself and share what you learn.
Great insight. Thank you so much. All right, so round two, we're going to do a little bit of an activity. So our panelists, I'm going to provide you with 3 words, and I want you each to think of the first thing that comes to mind, write it down if you're able, and then we're going to ask you to provide insight as to why that's what came to your mind first. Really use your brains after lunch, okay? So the 3 words that I'm going to share with you are autonomy, vulnerability, isolation. So again, autonomy, vulnerability, isolation. And when I say those 3 words, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
This is a foreign way of talking. Just give me what comes to mind when I tell you isolation, vulnerability, and autonomy. But I was thinking about ways that older adults can remain independent, in addition to the things that I've already mentioned, with being a buddy and inviting someone to the grocery store with you. Learning a little bit of technology can really make your life so much better. I found a tip along the way when caring for my mom that, well, if someone can't be there every minute, why don't we get an Alexa or an Echo Dot that if she needs help, she can just call out and it will call 911 for her. She uses it like, Alexa, what's the date? Alexa, what's the weather? She just has a new friend with Alexa.
Probably play some music for her, right? Yeah.
Right. And as part of her therapy and recovery, I set a reminder in her Alexa that like 4 times a day, Alexa, remind mom to get up and walk around. And it did, and she did, and that helped with her recovery. But I also wanted to mention there are grocery delivery services that are available at a nominal fee. I think Walmart has like an annual fee and they will deliver groceries for free. Well, it's not for free, it's for the fee, but you have that option available. And there are other types of grocery delivery services available. So if technology is intimidating to you, let us know. And the Area Agency on Aging, we will put on a presentation about understanding basic technology and how to utilize it safely if that's an interest that you have. So just let us know. Thank you.
Autonomy to me becomes independence. The ability to take care of themselves and their own values. Vulnerability is easily influenced. A lot of the robocalls and the spam calls can draw a lot of people in. Get them to do things that they normally wouldn't do. These robocalls talk a good game, but 9 chances out of 10 it's not a game to them. It's their livelihood. That's how they make their money, off of someone else's savings, their income. Isolation, it's disconnection in my eyes. Solitude, signs of depression. I have grandkids, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. I have a granddaughter that plays ball, and there's nothing better in the evening than when my daughter calls and says, "Hey mom, do you want to ride with us to the game?" Heck yeah, I'm gonna go. So keep your neighbor active. Even if you have a grandchild and they don't, say, hey, we're going to so-and-so's game, do you wanna come along? You know, things like that, get them out. We drive to the game, she plays up here in Somerset. And last night when we went through, there was a whole bunch of people sitting out just talking, you know, keeping each other busy, occupied. You may not feel like you wanna do that, but maybe if you try it, you're gonna get those other neighbors involved. You know, have just a evening session of talking. And that's relaxing to me, so.
For autonomy, I think control, and that's the freedom of choice of your own actions. Whether other people disagree, you have the right to make your own decisions. For vulnerability, unable to protect yourself, either emotionally, it can be hard mentally, physically, emotionally. And for isolation, just being separated from others. It can be physical, it could be emotionally or socially. But, you know, people living in remote areas can't socialize with others very much, so just feeling disconnected and misunderstood.
When I think of autonomy, I think of that as something that everybody kind of wants to strive for as long as they possibly can. However, at all point or at some point in everyone's life, we all become vulnerable with something. And we might isolate ourselves because something may have happened, because we did become vulnerable. And it is our job as friends and family, neighbors, to kind of watch out for when our neighbors, family, friends have become isolated and vulnerable, so that we can kind of help them kind of strive back for that autonomy. So it's just kind of like a cycle, I feel like, that everybody at some point in their time just kind of strives to, you know, go around, and we're all just kind of watching each other.
Great, thank you so much. And in closing, we have two questions. Again, it's round robin, whoever would like to answer and share. How can attendees today stay involved or support the efforts of stopping elder abuse moving forward?
I think you said it earlier, if you see something, say something. Just be aware of your surroundings, what's going on with other people, and offer support, connect to resources, and help keep them connected with the community.
There's a couple of points I wanted to make about that. If you have a concern, you can call the Erie Agency on Aging and make a report, and that will be investigated. And I wanted to go back up. There was a point made about vulnerability, and I think it's important to share with each other. I want to make the point that if you have been taken advantage of, it's okay to admit that, and it's okay to, what I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid to tell your children that someone swindled me out of money, for fear that they're going to take over your life and take over your money and put you in a home. The standard for that is not, I was defrauded one time. So please don't let that be the fear that controls you, because that is only a fear. The standard to have someone take over all of your affairs and have you declared incapacitated is, it requires a doctor's evaluation. It is not, well, I was victim to a scam. So please don't be controlled by that fear. It's better to reach out to the police, reach out to the Agency on Aging if you feel you've been defrauded, than to try to cover it up because you're afraid. If I tell my kids that I was defrauded, they're going to take over all of my affairs. So, thank you.
All right, and our final question is, what is one action you would encourage everyone in this room to take after leaving today?
If you don't have your important documents in order, this is your, if you're waiting for a sign or a message, this is your sign or message to get your affairs in order. It's a good idea to at least understand if you need a will, understand the benefits of a power of attorney. You may not have a person in your life that you would trust to give that power of attorney to, but it's important to have your affairs in order as best as you can. If you already have your will prepared, your power of attorney prepared, great. Get all of your documents gathered up so that when the executor of your estate has to come in and go hire the attorney to open the estate, they have all of the life insurance policies and the bank accounts and the investment accounts and the deeds and things like that, so that they can take that information to the attorney to have the estate administered, and they're not spending months waiting for statements to come through. So that's an additional way to get your affairs in order. If you thought about doing a prepaid funeral, look into that. They're not gonna get any cheaper, so if that's an additional, estate planning that you wanted to do, you should also take this opportunity to look into that as well.
I would say be a participant, not a bystander. And by that I mean, be the person that acknowledges when things aren't right or don't seem right. Make it stop before it gets to an escalation. A bystander is just the person that stands by and does nothing.
I was gonna say the same thing. Don't wait until something becomes a crisis. Offer the support early to prevent an emergency. I agree with what these ladies said, and I just wanted to add to be proactive.
Wonderful, thank you so much. That concludes the formal questions. If we could have another round of applause for our wonderful panelists, Deanna, Sarah, Christy, and Karen. Thank you so much for being here today and for all of the work you do for our community. It's truly appreciated and it doesn't go unnoticed. We come to our time of Q&A. Any questions? We can provide some answers or insight or anything somebody would like to share regarding some of the topics we discussed today. Any questions?
By show of hands, is there an interest in having a presentation in the future for something about information technology or safe use of technology? Is there an interest? Okay.
I don't know if my vote counts, but I'm interested. I think it's good.
I didn't claim to be the one to provide that information.
It's your idea.
I have teenagers and I am at the age where I ask my teenagers what to do with my phone, so.
No, I think that's a wonderful
We can put that
idea.
together to help you if there's an interest.
It's free that with your 5-year-old grandson and find all your pictures is lost.
Yeah.
Which is my point to people about learning technology. If your 5-year-old grandson can learn it and you've been able to work your whole life and own a home and drive a car, you can learn how to do those things. Was there a hand up in the back? Did you have a question?
I have a statement. We have 7 senior centers in Somerset County. Each one of them has laptops that you can go use for free with their internet. And our senior center managers are looking to help you learn your phone if you need it, help you their best ability. But they are having classes at their centers if you want to learn how to use laptops. Or bring your own device and they will help you with that.
For anyone that could not hear, she indicated that we have 7 senior citizen centers throughout the county. They each have a laptop and they have staff available to help you do work on the laptop or learn things about the laptop. And if you bring your phone in or if you bring your own personal devices in, there are people available that will help you with your devices. Is that a correct?
That is correct.
Well, that was quick. Ask and you shall receive, right? It's already there. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
That's how good our agency on aging
I know. We should have. Any other questions or comments or anything anyone would like to share? Yes.
And you don't know who to get, don't trust anybody. What's your advice?
The question was, if you don't have a power of attorney or someone that you trust or someone in your life that can be your POA, what would be that next step, or what is an option that you can do?
That is actually a difficult question to answer because it's a very personal question. If there's no close relatives, I think that's one set of circumstances. If it's a control thing, I think that's another set of circumstances. If and when you become unable to make your own decisions, then the hope is that there is somebody to identify that you're in need of assistance. But what would happen is someone would have to petition to have you declared an incapacitated person. So I don't know if this is the advice that people want to hear, but I would like to have enough relationships and people in my life that I would have someone that I could trust enough that I know that they would do a good job for me as my power of attorney. If you do not have a power of attorney, I would encourage you to make relationships so you at least have people looking out for you.
Thank you. Any other
What I meant to
questions?
say was if you don't have someone in your life that you trust enough to give power of attorney to, then I hope you have people looking out for you.
And I do think too, there, just a further comment on that, please correct me if I'm wrong, Deanne, but there are different types of power of attorney as well. So if you're thinking more medically, when you're medically incapacitated, there is medical power of attorney, and that's kind of how you can ensure your medical wishes are followed. And you can always have that on file with your PCP or other medical providers to ensure that aspect of power of attorney.
That is absolutely correct. I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation that there are limited power of attorneys. There could be a power of attorney that's only for medical, a power of attorney that's only for financial. It could be so limited. The example I gave was I'm selling my house and I can't attend the closing. So yes.
Great, thank you. So there are other options. It can be very specific. It doesn't have to be broad. Yes.
I have a question. I have a medical power of attorney that I've given to my children. And there's some changes that I want to make in that. Do I need to have a whole new medical power of attorney written up, or are there a way to make changes? There's things that I would like I put down that they didn't want blood products. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. That was really dumb, but I'd like to change it to something like that.
Sure, great question. She had asked, for those that may not have been able to hear, is if she currently has a medical power of attorney, the things have changed and she would like to update those, what would that process look like? Does she have to do a whole new one, or is there a way to do an update to that existing document?
That sounds like an advanced living directive.
Yes, I'm sorry, and that's what
That's
I'm
okay.
talking about. You're right.
Otherwise,
I know.
Excuse me. The attorney that prepared that for you probably has it saved in their computer and could print it out, make any changes very easily. It's not a big deal to have a new one printed and executed. That would be the best advice I would give you, is to have a new one prepared.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that goes hand in hand with one of the pieces of information about getting your documents together look at your will, look at your power of attorney. If you had your will prepared 30 years ago, or 2 husbands ago, or, there's kids in there that I don't talk to anymore, it's time to have those updated.
Thank you. Great questions. Do we have any other questions or comments? Yes.
Amy, I think it's the, you explained about other modes of transportation in Somerset County or anywhere, other than the public. Hey, good morning. So, we used to have Wilsh taxi service, which, God forbid, I would have needed from Burbank, I believe was $30 to get to Somerset. Yeah. But you mentioned that Uber. I didn't realize we had that, and how does that all work?
Somerset does have Uber and Lyft. It's an app that you put on your phone. You go onto the app, you select where you're at and where you want to go, and it will provide you with a rate for how much it would cost you. And if there's a time delay, like, yes, there's a driver available, but it would be 30 minutes. It would provide all that information to you. No commitment. You have to select that information before it would charge you.
Dan, we can also help put that kind of app on her phone today if that's something that she wanted. Oh, I hate these things.
Just so you know.
Just so you know, we can help with all of that techie stuff today if anybody's interested.
If you're interested while you're here.
Right, but you were saying how expensive.
Just from the back, folks, too, the question was to discuss what Uber is a little further, Uber and Lyft, what those services are. And that's what we shared. They're transportation apps that you can request to ride. And, yeah. I think with some of the rural areas, you would want to make sure that your return trip is still available. So maybe ask your driver and say, hey, I need to go to this doctor's appointment. Typically, they don't wait for you, like some taxis may. It's a drop off. It is door to door, but you want to make sure that you're going to have a way to get back, especially in some of the more rural areas.
That's a good point. Thank you for mentioning that.
Any other questions? Yes.
Do they do weekends or nights?
Yes.
Yes.
She asked if Uber or Lyft does weekends and nights, and the answer is yes.
Okay, that would be important.
So we were taking to the doctors in Johnstown, and that's transportation, you know, or that just maybe to go, they take you anywhere.
We have Sam Van available for medical appointments. Uber and Lyft will take you wherever you want to go. It provides you with the rate that they would be charging for that service. So you would know before you agree to accept it, how much they will be charging you.
Another thing with Uber and Lyft along those lines is it's available as long as there are drivers available. And so if there aren't drivers readily available or on the app, you may request a ride and it'll just say there's no drivers available. So it's not, I wouldn't rely on it as, regular transportation, but if you're in a snag, it's definitely a resource to try. And more often than not, you'll probably find somebody, but it's not guaranteed because it's kind of like it's route share, just everyday people that have passed basic background checks. They use their own vehicles to pick you up and drive you to your destination. So if they don't feel like working that day, they're not regularly scheduled. It's not Monday through Friday. It's at will. No problem.
How far goes the table in and they go to Johnson?
She was pointing out that Health Ride is through Tableland and they will go to Johnstown. And the Sam Van, somebody that may know more about Sam Van than myself, Corey's waving in the back. Corey, what can you tell me about the services offered by Sam Van?
Sam Van is the Somerset Area Ministries van. The only problem with that is that you have to meet them at Grace Church as the pickup point. But we can go, the Sam Van can go anywhere in the United States for an appointment. So if you need to go to the Mayo Clinic, you call the Sam Van and they can take you clear up to, the Mayo Clinic in Cleveland or wherever they need to go. It is volunteer drivers, so you need to schedule ahead of time so that we can make sure that we get a driver for that day.
Thank you, Corey. And any other transportation questions as well, please, you can reach out to the Area Agency on Aging. They'll get you set up with what your options and resources are for here in Somerset County. Yes, please. if you'd like to add.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Area Agency on Aging for having us here. You guys don't know how lucky you are to have an organization like that that has your back. So kudos to you guys.
All right, I think that wraps up today's panel discussion. Again, thank you so much to our panelists and to our AAA here in Somerset and all of the providers. So if you'd like to wrap it up.
Sure, yeah. Right now, you guys are getting surveys. Please, we request that you fill them out. We always love the feedback from the event, and we also like getting ideas for our future seminars. So please, if you want us to contact you whenever we have upcoming events, please make sure you put your name and your phone number. We will let you know. There's still some senior tickets back there. If you want to come join us for another fun day, it is casino theme this year.
And we'll have games.
And there is games. We've got some blackjack, roulette. We've got a human slot machine,
Punch out game.
punch out game. So please, a very good meal. We've got a
I'm
DJ,
excited.
so please come join us. One last thing before we do wrap up, our protective services unit does want to explain a little bit of what they do after they've received a call from the community, from a facility, from a hospital, that there's concerns of possible abuse, neglect, exploitation, and even abandonment. So they're gonna walk you through the process of what that looks like and when they investigate.
So you all get to hear my lovely voice again, but I wanted to make sure that I introduce the other protective service investigator, which is JD over here. Give her a hand, please. Also, you know, Angel, who was up here on the panel earlier, like I said, she's my supervisor. I asked if you would give all our protective service workers a hand. And not only that, let's give a hand to all of the service providers in Area on Aging and our wonderful administration, Jen and Jess. You know, all this is a lot of planning, it's a lot to go through. The same thing goes with protective services. So if we get a referral, or a RON is what we call it, it's a report of need, is what that stands for. We're gonna show up to your house and we're going to discuss that report. And we're gonna say like, oh, you know, we got concerns that possibly you're being scammed out of money. We investigate a lot of areas: physical abuse, caregiver neglect, emotional abuse, exploitation, which is like scamming, people spending money without your permission, taking your property without permission, sexual abuse, also self-neglect. So if you're not going to those medical appointments, watch out, we might be coming after you. No, I'm kidding. But we investigate all these areas. And so when we come out to your house, we're going to tell you why we're there first. And then we're going to discuss with you your rights. You know, you have the right to confidentiality. You have the right, there's a whole list that we're going to go over. And then we're going to have you sign that paper that you understand your rights. And then we're going to discuss kind of the investigative process. Like, hey, when we get a report, we have to investigate all areas of abuse, not just your exploitation. So we're going to ask for your medical provider, your medical information. We're going to ask for your banking information because we want to review the bank records and make sure that you're not missing that 1 or 2 cents every month from Apple.com. And we want to make sure that everything is on the, what we call up and up in our young years, right? And so when we investigate, the biggest thing is we ask for your cooperation. The more you cooperate, the sooner we can be out of your hair. And the sooner we get the resources that you need. Other than that, one of the things that we hear a lot in Pennsylvania is adults can make bad choices, okay? So you may have a friend that is making really bad choices. But if they are capacitated enough to understand the consequences of those bad choices are a concern, and we'll address those concerns, but adults can make bad choices. How many of us have ever made bad choices in our life? Every hand should go up, right? So we should not be punished for those bad choices, right? We get our natural consequences for what happens in those bad choices. And one of the things that a lot of people, I hear a lot, is, well, I just made a bad choice, so why did somebody have to make a phone call and get the government involved? Right? But first off, don't think of us as government people. We're just people. Okay? And think of us as just people here to help. So even though there is a concern and you may have made that bad choice, all we're going to come and do is try to help you through that. Maybe counseling services. There may be no services at all. Maybe you've already resolved it yourself. But anytime that you have a report of need or something that is concerning, please make a report. Don't be afraid to file a report. But again, we investigate all areas of abuse. And again, we're the only 2 investigators for our whole county. And we do a pretty good job of it. I think we're a pretty good team. We also have a person who's not here today, Gene Allwine. He's our aide. He takes the phone calls, so most of the time when you call and report a need, you're gonna talk to him. He is amazing. He does an amazing job. And everybody at the aging office does an amazing job. So again, if you have any questions about that, we're back in the corner. Feel free to talk to one of us or just give our office a call. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
One last time, I want to thank every single vendor that came out today, as well as all of our panelists. You all did phenomenal. Thank you for all of the information and education. Cody, thank you for coming and joining and being our moderator. You did wonderful. Does anybody have any last questions? All right. Well, we wrapped the day up a little early, but that's okay. Feel free to stay and mingle. Feel free to leave, whatever you'd like to do.
Thank you. Thank you.